Good evening and welcome along to the Europa League. Brann against Rangers. Rangers in the city of Bergen, the second largest in the country of Norway, after the capital Oslo, out on the country's west coast. And it's packed to the rafters in there. The Rangers players just lining up with their opponents tonight, doing the handshakes with the match officials and their opposite numbers for the evening. The team currently sitting third in the Norwegian Eliteserien against Rangers, who, as we know, under new management yet again, with Danny Röhl coming in and taking charge for the first time this evening. He served as an apprenticeship, as an assistant, particularly under Hansi Flick, who he was also with the national team as well as Bayern Munich. He's his own man now, of course, and having taken charge recently of Sheffield Wednesday, did a lot of firefighting last season. He's going to have plenty of that potentially to do in his new gig. As Rangers line up with Butland in goal, back four: Tavernier, Giga, Suter, Meghoma, Raskan and Rothwell in the midfield. Asgard just ahead of them, with Ant-Man and Gassama either side of Shermiti. For Brann, 4-1 winners over Haugesund at the weekend. They had an up and down season, though they are still in a battle for the Norwegian title. It's been a long time since they won that, but they're sitting on 49 points with 6 games to go, 7 behind the surprise leaders Viking Stavanger, who are another side who haven't won the top flight title for a heck of a long time. Bodø Glimt, though, are very much in the mix too, and they've been the force in Norwegian football recently. It's incredible, actually, when you look back at Norwegian football over the last couple of decades. There have been several clubs that have had periods of dominance. You think of Rosenborg, you think of Molde, and now Bodø Glimt, very much the shining light of the north in Norway, out by the Arctic Circle. So perhaps a little bit of a baptism of fire for Danny Röhl this evening. He's out there looking at the pitch just now as he gets ready to take his first match in charge here. Brian McLaughlin's in Athens. He's in the stadium watching that one. That match is underway, but he's got an update for us, Brian.
Yeah, there's just under 45 seconds gone so far, Liam, but just having a look over to the Aberdeen fans away to the left-hand side, and it looks like there is some riot police now congregating just at the bottom of the stands, and we're too far away to actually see exactly what's going on, but they certainly made a move up there a few moments ago. I'm trying to find out exactly what's happened, Liam, but yeah, it does seem that the riot police are certainly, they've moved in towards the bottom end of the Aberdeen support.
Right, well, Brian will keep an eye on that. It will be Rangers to kick off in Bergen, and as we watch the match here, they're going to kick from left to right, wearing one of their change kits this evening. Looks like dark blue and black with white flashes, and they will shoot, as I say, left to right. Brann in the all red. It's the second time Brann have come up against a Scottish team, and of course you don't have to look back very far to find the previous occasion, because it was against St Mirren in the Conference League qualifiers just over 12 months ago. It's a long ball for Rangers, aim for Shermiti, which bounces away from him and behind for a goal kick to Brann. Stephen Thompson watching this one with me here, and it'll be important, I would imagine, for Danny Röhl to get his tenure off to a winning start here. He's not going to have a lot of settling in time, as Russell Martin can testify to.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, you know, I think Russell Martin universally wasn't really the choice of the Rangers supporters when he arrived. Maybe
is this guy?
Maybe Danny Röhl isn't, I was just about to say. But they've got to give him the benefit of the doubt, and he really could do with getting off to a decent positive start here in Bergen.
Rangers have it with Taylor Asgard, who scored that wonderful goal against Dundee United at the weekend. He's found Ant-Man right hand side of the box. He's unable to free himself, though, to return it to Asgard, and Brann get it clear out towards this left hand side, where Tavernier manages to nip in ahead of Bard Finn. He's one of the star players in this Brann team. It's back with Butland, and it's rolled out to the left, where Meghoma's long ball is mopped up there at the back by the Brann skipper Fredrik Paulsen Knudsen. It's a long ball down the right hand side for Mathisen. who's up against Giga, covers across, it bounces off the corner flag and behind for a goal kick. It was actually Emil Kornvig who'd made his way down that right hand side. Difficult to see the numbers there, but Kornvig could make nothing of it, and it goes behind for a Rangers goal kick as the cameras once again, Stephen, focus on Danny Röhl.
Yeah, and he's got the suit on, which has been a bugbear of the Rangers supporters, with Russell Martin opting not to wear it, but he's suited and booted.
Here come Brann down the left-hand side. It's good play by Dragsnes, gets the cross in, but it's too close to Butland, who holds on in a 6-yard line and plays it long out to the right-hand side, where Oliver Antman picks it up just inside Brann territory. He's on the ball, he rolls it to the edge of the centre circle for Asgard, who has given it away. There was a good challenge on him, but he seemed to have it pinched off him all too easily. He's going to say he's back in home territory. He is a Norway international, but he's a Scouser, born in Liverpool to Norwegian parents, as Asgard. And it's the home team in possession here, with Elvin Helland, who's the left centre back, and he finds Knudsen to his right, and back to Helland, who will keep you up to date with what's going on in Greece in the Conference League, where Aberdeen are taking on AEK Athens. Goalless in the early exchanges there. They're perhaps about a minute and a half ahead of the match that we are watching here out in Norway, and it's going to be a throw into Rangers, just at the edge of their defensive third. James Tavernier, the captain, who salvaged that point against Dundee United at the weekend, and they were between managers. Bowled forward by Tavernier. Shermiti trying to get it under control. It's knocked out for a throw in on this near side by Helland. It's funny, is it, because when Stephen Smith was in charge of that Dundee United game on Saturday, we were all expecting Kevin Muscat to be not in the dugout tonight, but we're expecting him to be in the dugout fairly soon. It
was a big surprise, Liam, there's absolutely no doubt about that. It obviously fell through at the last hour, and it wasn't to be for Kevin Muscat, and it gives Danny Röhl a massive opportunity to step in as permanent Rangers manager.
It was kind of towards the end of the programme here on Sunday, it was becoming apparent that Muscat would not be the Rangers manager, as Suter wallops the ball clear up towards the halfway line. It's won well in the air by Helland, though. Drops into the midfield, where Asgard gets onto it, shuffles away from a couple of red shirts and goes across the halfway line, and then turns back towards his own goal and passes it back to Tavernier, who moves it infield to Suter. Suter then shifting it to the left of the centre circle for Nikola Raskan. Long ball clipped down the left, looking for Gassama, but it's pinched back by Denzel de Roev, the Belgian, at right back for Brann. Now it's with Giga, and interesting to see Giga starting on the left side of the defence, Stephen. When he's played for Rangers, and it's his first season at the club, they've generally had to play him on the right, and John Suter to the left of him.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have said he got off to the best of starts under Russell Martin. There was a few occasions where he was caught out and didn't look too impressive defensively. That's a good ball.
All the way through to Shermiti, it just bounces away from him at the edge of the Brann box and pops out to de Roev over on that right side, where he turns it out of play for a throw-in off a Rangers player, Gassama.
But this is what happens when a new manager comes in, Liam, and you get the clean slate, and players who might have been out of favour get us an opportunity. The manager's looking at them with fresh eyes, and it's an opportunity for the players as well to go and impress the new manager, and clearly he's done something over the last couple of days that's given Danny Röhl the thought process of starting him.
Yeah, because Derek Cornelius is on the bench tonight. I don't think he's made too many mistakes in his turbulent Rangers career so far. As Brann pick up the ball deep inside their own half, it's slipped out to the left-hand side for Vetle Dragsnes, one of the two alterations in the Brann team from their victory at the weekend. It's popped up the right-hand side. Matthijssen is in field, but another two or three waiting in the box. The cross is cut out, but it deflects to the edge of the area there for Gudmundsson, the Icelander, and then down the left-hand side of the box it goes behind for the goal kick, despite the protests from the home supporters and from Dragsnes, who'd made his way to the left-hand side of the area and felt it should have been a corner.
He just tries to nick it round Tavernier here, doesn't he? Nah, there's no touch from Tavernier. He tries to pop it round and get it to the other side, does Dragness, but the referee got that one spot on.
It's played out to Suter, right hand side of his box. He goes long into the Brann half where Chermiti chests it down. Now's the time for him to step up, that's for sure, but it's a good recovery challenge there by Fredrik Paulsen Knudsen. Brann trying to play themselves out of trouble here, and it comes back to the skipper, who rolls it back to his goalkeeper Dungeland. He goes long into the centre circle. Giga wins the header, and he's managed to get it through there to Asgard. Works the 1-2 with Gisama. Antman was to the right. Asgard goes himself, blocked by the defender, picked up by Gisama. Good play from him, drives into the box, fresh in, he tries to pull it back. No, looks a bit silly when that happens.
Oh, he did
the
so
Rangers
well.
are going to get the corner anyway. Mekoma sees it behind as it bounces back off Ulrik Matthijssen.
He did so well initially, Gisama, just with a wee step over and the wee flick past the defender, but then he just has an absolute rush of blood to the head. The thing was, there was two players on the edge of the 6-yard box waiting for the cutback, and he absolutely takes his eye off the ball and completely misses it. But they get the corner anyway.
Goalless opening 8 minutes in Bergen. Rangers corner, which will be taken by Tavernier, right-footed in swinger. So a snake of players just to the right of the penalty spot, comes towards the back post, headed half away, breaks to Raskan, and his effort is blocked by Paulsen Knudsen. Back out to Tavernier, and Raskan heads well wide, and it will stay Brann 0, Rangers 0, as it is in the Greek capital between AEK and Aberdeen in the Conference League.
Well, it was an in-swinging corner from Tavernier towards the back area. It was nodded down actually by a Bergen player, and it caused absolute confusion. The ball ricochets and breaks to Raskin. He's onto it quickly, hits the shot, but it's blocked. Back out to Tavernier, he flashes it in again, and Raskin at that front post area gets his head to it, but just gets far too much on it and high over the bar.
Rangers were, of course, quarter-finalists in this tournament last season. They've got off to a dreadful start though, losing their opening 2 fixtures. It's been a fairly dreadful European season. It's not been a great couple of seasons. Rangers did well in the Europa League last season. As the ball comes through, it's touched back by Tavernier. I think AEK Athens have gone in front against Aberdeen in the Conference League. 10 minutes into that, we're going to go to Brian, who can just update us on that. Brian, a bad start for the Dons.
Yeah, 11 minutes on the clock, and it's AEK Athens 1, Aberdeen 0. A terrific strike by Abukari Koita, the number 11, around 20 yards out from goal. You'd have to say though, but be looking at Mitov to probably try and get a hand to it, but it was in the bottom left-hand corner, and it's AEK Athens 1, Aberdeen 0.
That's an awful start for Aberdeen. I'm just talking about the ills of Scottish football in continental competition. Celtic got through the league phase of the Champions League, Rangers to the quarter-finals, but there weren't too many victories in amongst that. There was of course, Rangers went to Istanbul and won as they did against Fenerbahce last season, but they lost the second leg. And Celtic did well against Bayern Munich, but lost the home leg and drew the second, so not massive hauls of coefficient points being picked up, and this is going to be keenly felt over the course of the next few seasons, because Scottish clubs are going to be starting their European campaigns at the beginning of July because of all these insipid performances and defeats that have befallen this season in particular, doing nothing to redress the balance. So AEK Athens 1, Aberdeen 0 in Greece. Goalless still in Norway. Rangers do a bit defending. Suter ricochets back into Brann possession in a central area where Joe Rothwell, the spoiler, manages to get between the man and the ball, rolls it back to Butland, who gets it clear into the midfield. Here come Brann again. The Norwegians have started the brighter. They seem to be knocking the ball about with real confidence right now. They're 26 league games into their season, and all the European games that they've taken part in as well. As it comes out to the left-hand side, it's rolled infield for Bard Finn, who pulls it back. The shot blocked from the effort on the 6-yard line by Suter, and Rangers get it clear. It's been an ominous start in Bergen as well, though. Aberdeen trailing, but Rangers are surrendering a lot of possession here, and it's coming in dangerous areas as well.
Yeah, it is, Liam. I thought it was well played actually from Brann from the right hand side, working it across the pitch to the left, getting to the byline, the cut back, and when the shot comes in, John Souttar does really well. I mean, we've said this a number of times, it is one of his key strengths, is blocking things in and around the box. He gets his body in front of the shot and manages to ricochet it clear, but Bergen are having the better of the ball. I mean, Rangers setting up basically as we've seen them set up a lot of times this season with a 4-2-3-1 with Rothwell and Nico Raskin sitting in front of the back four, with Asgard slightly advanced and the two wide players. Just Chermiti up on his own at the minute and not really having that much service.
Sounds like a terrific atmosphere inside the stadium, doesn't it? The players will absolutely love that. Can you feed off that?
Yeah,
even if you're the visiting team?
Yeah, you do. Even as a visiting team, but you sometimes get that in these slightly smaller stadiums, and it's right on top of the pitch. You know, sometimes in vast stadiums, it can get lost a wee bit. But in these smaller stadiums, it looks kind of a similar size to a Tynecastle or something like that. When it's right on top of the pitch, the atmosphere certainly looks brilliant.
0-0 between Brann and Rangers in the Europa League match day 3. Rangers losing to Genk and Sturm Graz in their two openers. Brann did beat the Dutch side Utrecht last time out, 1-0. They were narrowly beaten by Lille in France. As I said, the coefficient of Norwegian football's looking a lot healthier than the Scottish one right now. And it's Brann in possession. And it's just outside the centre circle, where it's picked up by Jakob Lungi Sorensen, the Dane, who anchors the midfield for the hosts. Shifted out to the right for De Rove. And down the right side of the Rangers box it goes. It's well defended though over there, and it's gone out. Was it Raskan who was out there? Anyway, they've given it away, and Brann have it back, moved into a central position, just played to the left there to Vetle Dragsnes, and pull back towards Sorensen, and out to the right side for De Rove, level with the penalty spot. The ball comes back off Mekhoma and behind for a Brann Bergen corner.
More pressure from Brann. They're playing well. I mean, initially Raskin did really well to match the run in behind and force himself in between the ball and the player and win the ball, but then he got it nicked back off him. They recycle the ball to Brann and eventually get the ball out wide. The cross comes in, deflected off Mekhoma for this corner, outswinger.
Opportunity here for Brann. They got plenty up for it in the box, and it comes. There's a header down and wide, and Butland happy. He didn't have to make a save there. It was Elvind Helland who put his head to that. Yes, it was. Maybe Mekhoma helping out at the back there as well. Maybe did enough to put him off. Chermiti was in there as well. He was behind for the goal kick to Rangers, and it stays 0-0 in Bergen. Almost 15 minutes played.
The best chance of the match so far. Outswinging corner, really good delivery. Helland gets up, but you're right, he was under severe pressure. Combination of Chermiti coming in behind him and also Mekhoma just in front of him. He does well to get any contact on the ball. It probably goes about a foot past Jack Butland's left-hand post.
Brann in possession again. It's driven down the left-hand side for Bard Finn, who's faced by Souttar. Comes out the box to meet him. A little touch from the Brann number 11, bounces off Souttar, who gets it half away, but it's dropped to the feet of Emil Kornvig, the number 10. Out to the left for Gudmundsson, back to Kornvig, swings the ball in deep, headed back towards the 6-yard line. Butland saves point blank range from Ulrik Matthijssen, who really should have scored.
That's a sitter, Liam. It's a deep cross to the back post and nodded back across the face. Matthijssen's there. He's what, 2-3 yards out. It's basically just head the ball down or up the way, and it's a goal. He heads it straight at Jack Butland. He doesn't have to do much. I mean, just parries it clear, but that is as big an opportunity as you're likely to get. He's got to header that down.
Well, Rangers under the cosh, that's for sure. Aberdeen are almost certainly under the cosh. They've gone 2-0 behind. Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, there's a second goal for Koita as well. Great work down the right-hand side by Lazarus Rota. The ball played across the middle of the park into the path of Koita, who took one touch to correct himself, placed it in the right foot into the same corner where he scored the opener, and it was very close to a second goal just seconds before. Penrice with a free kick, Vida with a header off the inside of the post. Aberdeen are really under the cosh at the moment now. Athens 2.
A good line there from Brann.
Well, there you go, 2-0 to AK. Got a little feed of the match with us here, and Aberdeen being torn asunder by the looks of things in the Greek capital. And they trail 2-0. Coverage of that game over on FM when BBC Radio Scotland continues in the Conference League. But it was the same before the Shakhtar Donetsk game. Aberdeen played well in that game at Pittodrie, but you felt that they could they spend all season trying to qualify for they win the Scottish Cup and guaranteed league phase football, but because they made such a dreadful start to the season, they could almost do without them.
Yeah, and it's a tough learning experience, learning curve for the players going away to a notoriously difficult European venue, and it looks as though they're really struggling.
They managed a 2-2 draw in Thessaloniki against PAOK under Barry Robson 2 years ago, but they're folding right now. So 2-0 AK. It's still 0-0 in Bergen, where our attention is focused right now. Rangers have been under some serious duress though over the course of the last 10 minutes, but it has come and gone without the concession of a goal, and that's the only positive for Rangers and for Danny Rule right now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, in terms of an attacking display, we've not really seen anything so far to write home about, and they've got a chance here for Gassama.
Down the left-hand side, Gassama of the Brann box gets the low ball in, but it comes to nothing, and Dungeland is on to it. He holds on in the 6-yard box and looks to get Brann away quickly, albeit he almost ran outside his own box whilst holding the ball there.
I had to check himself. Yeah, it was poor from Magoma because he got the break of the ball out on the left-hand side. He's got 20 yards to drive into. He does so, but then it's all about delivery, and the delivery was rotten.
Brann in possession here. It's rolled back to the goalkeeper by Helland. Dungeland well outside his box as he knocks it back to Helland to his left, and then back to his goalkeeper. The fact they haven't conceded, Stephen's the only positive right now.
Yeah, approaching the 20-minute mark, Liam.
They should have.
Well, I mean, it's such a big opportunity for Matthijssen. It really is. He's got to score. And yeah, Rangers living dangerously, but all the positive play so far has been by Brann.
They want a free kick, they're not getting one. Play on. The ref, well, was he waiting to see if there was an advantage? He's let it go. He's going to have to stop the play because there's a player from each side down. Not sure who the Rangers player is. In fact, we're getting, it's Raskan who's down right now, and Ulrich Matthijssen is at the best chance of the match, is also sitting on the deck as he was body checked by Raskan.
Yeah, I think it's just a wee clash of heads.
Is that a foul?
It's just as he nicked it past him, I think so, but like as he nicks it past Nico Raskin, they both run into each other and basically smash faces together. Thankfully both are back up on their feet now. But I think initially the referee maybe tried to play advantage, and then the time had kind of passed.
Vasilios Fotias, the Greek in charge of this one this evening. He was at the Under-21 European Championship finals in the summer. Seen a replay of the Brann goalkeeper almost walking out of his own penalty area whilst in possession of the ball in his gloves. Wasn't far away from carrying it over that 18-yard line. And it is a stoppage in play in Bergen just now because of that clash between Raskan and Matthijssen. They are 3-time Norwegian champions, Brann, but not since 2007, and only once since they won it back-to-back in 1962 and 63. They've been in the second tier recently. Indeed, they qualified for Europe when they went on to meet St Mirren last year, having finished runners-up in the Norwegian League the year before. Straight off the back of promotion. They're going to be a force again as Tavernier struggles to keep it in play, prevents the corner, does enough, gets it clear. But it's going to be a Brann ball on the left-hand side, and it's Sorensen, the midfielder, low ball into the box, barred Finn, dinks it towards the back post, and a misunderstanding there with the striker Noah Holm, and it's a good job there was a misunderstanding because there is a huge space between the two Rangers centre-backs, between the penalty spot and the 6-yard line there, Tomo.
Yeah, it was a big error from Nico Rask, and he'd got himself defensively again into a really decent position and tries to clear the ball, makes a real hash of it. It breaks to Finn, and he's got options. He tries to curl one to the back post, but I didn't see any players waiting for a cross, and a really poor error of judgment from Finn there. But again, Rangers not looking too good defensively. I mean, the ball's just going from back to front when they do win it, up towards Chermiti, and he's struggling to hold and link the play.
Remains 0-0 in the Europa League, match day 3 in Bergen. Just a reminder, Aberdeen trailing AEK Athens by 2-0 after 24 minutes in the Conference League. Match day 2 in that competition. It is Brann in possession with Paulsen Knudsen. Takes it into the centre circle, low ball forward, cut out by Rothwell. Breaks to Gassama. They're going to spark Rangers here, but he's driving into traffic. 4 red jerseys around him and gives it away. And it's picked up in the midfield there by Gudmundsson. Good footwork as he slips it out to the left-hand side for Dragsnes. Back in field for Sorensen, who'll move it to the right there for De Roev. As Brann look to capitalise on their dominance in this match. It comes off Mekhoma and out for a throw into Brann over on the home side's right side. Played back into the centre circle here, where it's picked up by Gudmundsson. Rolls it back to Helland. And goes back to his goalkeeper. Kind of period of calm in the game here at the moment, Stephen.
Yeah, Brann quite happy to keep possession of the ball. Already they've had over 60% possession. We're only 23 minutes into the game. I mean, you can expect that away in Europe against teams when you're not the home team. But I'd like to see Rangers carry a wee bit more threat and be a wee bit more
there's
careful.
No threat really, has there?
Be a bit more careful in possession when they do win the ball back.
Raskan desperately trying to win it back, but it's Brann attacking the Rangers defence here at the edge of the box. Clipped through by Holm to the right hand side, and then the opportunity there, the shot saved at the near post by Butland. Comes back to Holm, who lashes it high over the bar. It is another chance for Brann, and it is another save for Jack Butland, but it stays Brann 0, Rangers 0.
Yeah, they worked it really well at the edge of the box. It was a lovely touch from Holm. He flicks it out wide to I think it was Matheson. He gets the shot away after a touch. Butland does well to poke it back into
the initial shot.
Yeah, poke it back into the middle area, and then just a very spectacular effort from Holm. Tries the overhead kick. He was never really set for it, but it goes harmlessly over the bar. But yeah, I mean, all the positive plays coming in the red shirt.
It is Chiga for Rangers, midway inside his own half, to the left for Mekhoma, who launches it long down the left, looking for JD Gassama. It's being defended by De Roev over there, and it's out of play for a throw-in off Gassama last. Almost bang on the 25-minute mark in Bergen. Brann 0, Rangers 0. And Jack Butland has been pretty busy so far. And the header from Raskan down the left-hand touchline, and it's cleared by Brann. Long ball. Suter, a little header in field. Jiga trying to get it under control. He's facing his own goal, and the referee sounds his whistle and awards Rangers the free kick as Jiga takes a tumble, and things going from bad to worse for Aberdeen. Brian McLaughlin.
27 minutes on the clock, and it's now AEK Athens 3, Aberdeen 0. A simple goal. The ball played across from left to right into the path of number 19 Nicholas Eliasson, and he does simple task really, but this was Aberdeen's own downfall. A play out from the back by Mitov. It was missed by one of the defenders. A simple goal really. Aberdeen really their own real enemies at the moment. It's 3-0 and a huge task to try and get back into this game, but this could be anything at the moment, Liam.
That game's over. It's Devlin's trying to keep it off the line, and it's gone in after the error from Milne and Mitov. 3-0 to AEK Athens. Still goalless in Bergen, but Rangers have been struggling in the match. Gassama's done well to win a free kick deep inside his own half as they came forward again. to the home side. And it will be a Rangers free kick. And it's difficult for Danny Röhl here. He's coming into this game not quite blind, Stephen, but it's not far off it.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can do with one quality training session on the training pitch with the team. You know, you can give instruction, but until he gets working on the grass on a daily basis with this team over the course of the next few months, and you're not just going to transform a team that's been underperforming and make them into a team that's all of a sudden, you know, a great team. It's been a fairly disjointed performance so far from Rangers, but I mean, I suppose the positive for them is that the scoreline remains at 0-0.
That is the scoreline as Brann take a goal kick here. It's one of the outfield players who's going to take it. It's rolled back to the keeper by Helland. And a long ball up towards the halfway line is flicked on. John Souttar gets his head onto it, and Tavernier lashes it forward, and it's controlled well by Telo Asgard. Facing his own goal though, he rolls it back into his own half for Souttar. The switch of play out to the left for Meghoma, and infield for Giga. Back to Meghoma again. The ball forwards cut out. Now it goes for a Rangers throw-in level with the edge of the centre circle inside their own half. On 28 minutes. It's going to be taken by Meghoma. Bowls it forward down the left-hand side, comes off the head of Derouve, breaks into the midfield. Asgard trying to get there, but it evades him and ends up bobbling all its way back to the goalkeeper Dungaland, who knocks it out to this near side. Rothwell gets onto it well though and finds Ant-Man, who I don't think we've mentioned in the game. Now it's Tavernier, chops in field, just the edge of the box, low ball. Asgard's a great chance actually in the penalty spot, and he has slashed at it, and he's got himself caught in a fankle there. If he catches that as well as he caught his goal against Dundee United at the weekend, Rangers could be stealing a lead here.
Yeah, Rothwell does really well initially, picking up the second ball, a couple of one-touch passes. Tavernier turns, drives inside, fires it into just beyond the penalty spot, where Asgard takes a wild swipe at it. He's got more time than he thinks that he does. Just needs to show a wee bit more composure, any type of quality on that, and it's an effort on goal, and he really does slash at it.
Kusama, left-hand side of the box. Now he's level with the edge of the D, being forced back the way, passes it back down the line. And it's Giga for Souttar, forward to Rothwell, to the right for Tavernier of the centre circle, and Tavernier under pressure has to go all the way back to his goalkeeper. And it's Butland just at the edge of his box. 0-0 approaching the half hour in Bergen. Aberdeen getting an absolute toweling in Athens, 3-0 down after 31 in that one in the Conference League. And it's now with Joe Rothwell for Rangers. Rolls it to Raskan, then back to Souttar. The centre circle to the right for Tavernier. And out to Ant-Man, who plays it to Souttar. And then switch to the left there for Giga. And now Raskan comes deep between the two centre-backs to take possession of the ball. Out to Souttar, and then to Ant-Man, who rolls it back into his own half for Raskan. Aberdeen have made a substitution in that match, and Topi Keskinen's been sacrificed and replaced by Alfie Dorrington. He didn't look very happy coming off either.
He's got to try something, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's
Jimmy Tillane, every time you...
Right, I mean, he signs up for a 3-0 defeat right now, doesn't he?
Oh, you've got to. Yeah, 100%.
Rangers still very much in the match in Bergen though, and it's... And then we switch to the left of the centre circle for Giga, who finds Meghoma. Left foot cross comes in, he's beaten everyone. There was only really Sharmiti and Ant-Man to hit. It's gone over both their heads. Now with Tavernier collecting wide in the right, goes back to Rothwell, side foot ball in field to Raskan, looks up in the box, a good one. Sharmiti's header's weak, so weak. What a chance it was for Sharmiti, the big money signing, who's got the goal right in front of him. The cross from Raskan is on point. The header down into the ground, and it's a comfortable take for Dungaland.
It's got to be a goal, Liam. I mean, the quality of ball in from Raskan's absolutely superb. Sharmiti's pulled off the back of his centre half. He's 6 yards out, gets a right good look at the cross, and gets nothing on the header. He's trying to header it down back across the goalkeeper, which I would have said would have been the right thing to do, but he gets absolutely rubbish contact on the header straight into the goalkeeper's arms. What an opportunity.
He's been given his chance by the new manager tonight as Youssef Chermiti. But here come Rangers again. Ant-Man fizzes a ball across from the right, another brilliant cross, but it's beaten everyone and goes out for a throw-in down by the corner flag for Brann over in the other side. But what I can say is this has been a much better spell for Rangers. 2 superb balls in, first from Raskan and then from Ant-Man on that occasion, Stephen.
Yeah, I mean, again, yeah, you're right to point out, I mean, it's by far Rangers' best couple of minutes in the game, without a doubt, in terms of looking like a force going forward. And Ant-Man this time delivering the ball into a really good area between the goalkeeper and the centre halves. For me, Chermiti's got to gamble that ball's coming in and bust himself to get into the middle of the 6. If he does that, he's probably got a tap in. He doesn't, and he's reacting, and by the time the ball's into the box, it's whizzed past Chermiti, and then he's been reactive.
Here come Brann on the left-hand side. Good challenging by Tavernier, but he's put it out for a Brann throw-in on the near side, right in front of his new manager, who is down at the bottom of the picture there on the touchline, trying to encourage his players and cajole them. It has been a better spell for them. It's been a difficult first half. It's been a difficult Europa League campaign. It's been a competition that Rangers have done really well in over the course of the last 5 or 6 years, really since the Steven Gerrard days. Of course, Van Bronckhorst took them to the final itself. But even when they were having trouble last season, Stephen, Europe was a real bit of solitude for them, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, that's what everybody kept saying, wasn't it? You know, Thursday nights, you could be guaranteed Rangers are going to turn up and put a performance in, even when they were looking so desperately poor. And domestic football, especially away from home, you could be guaranteed that they would turn up. It was really strange because, you know, you'd be like, who are this team that only turn up on Thursday nights? But the same can't be said right now.
Rangers on the ball with Tavernier on this near side, where he rolls it back to Rothwell, infield to Raskan, then back out to Tavernier on this near side, and he's given away the cheapest corner you will ever see as he misplaces his pass back to Suter and puts it behind for a Brann Bergen corner. My goodness,
it's just a lapse in concentration from the captain there. I mean, he's got a simple pass back the way for a clearance to centre half, tries to play it with the outside of his foot, doesn't get any of the outside of his foot on it, and straight foots it basically straight out the pitch for a corner, putting his team under pressure here.
Chance then for Brann. Bard Finn is over to take the corner. 4 caps for Norway. He's been in the squad recently, unused sub against Scotland a couple of years ago. In comes his corner, beaten away by Butland. Breaks to about 30 yards from goal, and the shot's got so much power on it, it's flown wide. It's an astonishing effort, actually. It looked as Stragsness caught that like he was finding the top right corner. It's an outstanding hit. Took the touch, set with the left, hit with the right. Actually, from the behind the goal camera, the high behind, it's well off target.
It's not well off target. You're doing the guy a disservice there, Liam. But yeah, Butland comes and clears the initial corner. It comes to Dragness.
What I'm trying to say is it's not as close as I thought it was.
No,
initially.
Perhaps not. Perhaps, and that's with the glasses on. It comes to Dragness on the edge of the box. He's got every right to go for it because it sets up beautifully for him. He catches it really, really well, but probably a yard wide of the post.
0-0 in Bergen, 10 till half time. AK continue to pound that Aberdeen box. They've hit the post twice. Mitov has saved from point blank, and they've conceded 3 times. You could presume with the full-time whistle, not the half-time one in the Conference League. Aberdeen, who are being schooled by the Greek title challengers AEK.
Gassama's pushed somebody off the ball here. He was trying to see the ball out for a goal kick, which he did well, and then seems to kind of lash out. I didn't see how much force or where he lashed out. The Brann player's gone down to the deck, so we'll get a wee look at it.
Yeah, there's a replay coming here. He cut across Cornvik, didn't he? And then the arms were flailing about a bit, and then he is a little dragged back. I think
do yourself a favour, mate.
He's made an absolute meal of that.
What are you doing, man? I mean,
it's embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing, Liam.
Yeah,
it's so embarrassing. When players do that, you talk about pet hates in football. That is right
It's a
up
disgrace,
there. Absolute. Can't see it.
Yeah. Careful now.
Yes.
Emil Kornvig with the play acting there. I mean, Gassama's been booked, right? But
how has he been booked?
I mean, you've got to at some point with the video system. No, they're limited.
100%
They can't get involved in yellow cards, right? That is a fact. But there's got to be at some point for things like play acting. There's got to be retrospective in-game punishment.
That rule's got to change anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, the second yellow definitely has to change. I'm not saying that.
Yes, Gassama's just been booked for absolutely nothing because an opposition player's pretended that he's been hit in the face. It's a disgrace.
Yeah.
You know, we've got the technology there. The referee should be able to just go back in there and take the yellow card away.
Well, we saw it with Fotosianidis, the Greek striker at Hampden in that World Cup qualifier a couple of weeks ago, doing the same kind of thing, trying to win a penalty, con the officials. How can you con officials in this day and age with the VAR?
Because
he's trying to get Gassama sent off. Is he trying to suggest that the VAR is not going to see the replay of that? Butland plays it short out of his box. Raskin misses it, and Rangers are fortunate that Brann didn't make more of it than they did. And then the referee is going to give a free kick here for a challenge by Rothwell. And about midway inside the Rangers half, it's Matthijssen who's gone down this time.
Well, it comes from Jack Butland putting Raskin under real pressure with a kind of short pass to the edge of the 18. He's got a player right in his back and eventually loses the ball. They then come again. The ball gets knocked past Rodwell, and for me, it's not a foul. The player jumps into Rodwell. He's not trying to block him. He's not trying to foul him. But the referee's bought it. They've got a free kick, albeit it's got to be a good 35 plus yards out.
Well, we shall see if Brann can make anything of that. This is Sports Sound here, BBC Radio Scotland on digital, on Extra, online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. Also, listeners joining us on 5 Live Sports Extra as well. Brann 0, Rangers 0, almost on 39 minutes. In comes the free kick into the Rangers box, comes off the head of Suter, breaks to the left-hand side for Palsen Knudsen, who heads it back. The first shot's blocked, breaks to Bard Finn, his effort's blocked too, and Butland will get onto it. No damage done for Rangers, and it stays goalless.
It was an inventive free kick. I think everybody thought he was going to shoot. He dinks it in behind the Rangers defence. They don't really clear it properly. It's recycled back into the middle of the 6, breaks, and Finn gets a shot off which was blocked, and then the resulting follow-up shot also blocked. Get into the last 5 minutes of this 45.
Brann with the ball at the edge of their own box there with Helland. Long ball forward is broken, the Rangers defence. Bard Finn's in here, left hand side of the area, looks up at the goal. Finn, it's deflected to the back post, and in it goes. Brann in front, and they deservedly have the lead. As Rangers' tortuous season plumbs another new depth. Kornvig managed to get onto it just minutes after his disgraceful play acting. He pops up at the back post after the initial shot took a deflection which took out Butland, and Kornvig taps home, and with 5 minutes to half time, it's Brann Bergen 1, Rangers 0.
Well, again, you've got to be concerned about how easy that one pass, and don't get me wrong, it was a fabulous pass, set Finn off down the left hand side. I need to get a look at it again to see where Tavernier is. Yeah, Tavernier's high, not in contact with his two centre halves at all. They're very narrow. The ball gets played through to Finn, he's bearing down and goal, and he absolutely, he goes to hit it, pulls out of hitting it, sclaffs it across the face of the goal. He does not mean this one wee bit, and Kornvig's there to just tap it home from 2 yards. Fortuitous, but Rangers defensively again looking really, really dodgy. One pass wiped them out.
Scottish football is in a shocking state in Europe right now, and there's no sign of the slide being arrested here. Later on, we've got Celtic up against Sturm Graz in Glasgow. That is a game they simply have to win. They've at least managed to register a point, and they did so in Belgrade. But with Aberdeen taking an absolute doing in Greece tonight. 3-0 down, approaching half-time in the Conference League. Rangers have been breached as we edge towards the interval in the Europa League. Already 2 defeats out of 2. They find themselves behind again. Do they have the wherewithal to come back into this? Raskan moving it to Suter, and then out to the right-hand side for Tavernier. His ball into the edge of the box is easily cleared by Helland. It's picked up by Oliver Antman on the right-hand side, and he passes it back into his own half for Suter. Right of the circle, he shifts it to the left of it for Giga. Will then roll it to Meghoma. He pops it down the line for Gassama. Gassama looking for an overlap potentially from Meghoma. He stabs it forward instead, can't find Asgard, and it comes back to Tungalan, the Brann keeper, who clears first time with the right foot. And Giga manages to get onto it and turns it back to Butland. Not too many changes in the Brann squad from the one that St Mirren pushed close in the Conference League qualifiers last season. It was a 1-1 draw in Paisley. Out there it was 1-1 going into the last, I think it was 15-20 minutes, when eventually St Mirren capitulates the wrong word, but they lost a couple of goals late on.
Yeah, they just switched off in the dying parts of the game. St Mirren did really well over the 2 legs, but yeah, I mean, look, the first half performance has not been a good one from a Rangers point of view. In terms of attack, they've had those 2 crosses from the right hand side. Chermites is the best opportunity of the half, and he really has to do a lot better with it. And if Rangers are only going to create 1 or 2 opportunities away from home in Europe, you've got to have somebody up there that's going to take them. At the other end, Butland, couple of smart saves, but really Brann have had control of the game, an awful lot of possession. They've looked far more threatening, and it's no surprise to see them get into the break in the lead.
And of course it's Kornvig who gets the goal. His Oscar-winning performance a couple of minutes before. As Tavernier wins a throw-in on the right-hand side. Rangers looking to finish the first half strongly, as Tavernier bowls it back to Suter on the halfway line. They're into the first of 5 minutes of stoppages in Athens. I think Aberdeen could be doing with as few minutes in that match as possible.
They'll be wanting into the dressing room, believe me.
They'll be wanting on the bus and then on the plane. Comes back to Butland at the edge of his box. Clipped ball out to this near side for Tavernier. Infield Rothwell, first time, long ball looking for Oliver Antman to get onto it. He chases, he's put enough pressure on the defender to emerge with it. Right hand side of the box, low ball into the area. Asgard, poor first touch and cleared.
It's got to be better. I mean, you know, having watched Asgard in the opening, that's a handball, ref. Oh, no way. Ref should have spotted that. Watching Asgard in the opening half against Dundee United, he looked a different player. He looked, every time he got the ball, looked a threat. He obviously scores an absolute wonder goal, but tonight not looked the same player as he was in that opening half. And on that occasion there, the pass into him was a really decent one. He's got to take a better first touch, and then he's set for a shot. His first touch is sloppy, slack, and yet again another attack breaks down.
Yeah, I mean, Rangers are, I know the bookmakers had Brann down as favourites. You can understand that given the respective forms of the 2 clubs, but Rangers have got to show more than what they're showing here. They look like a team that has been completely shorn of confidence. They don't look like a team looking to try and impress their new manager, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, you obviously hear and talk about the manager bounce, a new manager coming in and players getting a lift, but I suppose the lingering question is, of the squad that is there for Danny Rule to pick from, how many of them are capable of putting in the performances that are required for Rangers to improve dramatically? That will be seen over the coming months.
Hansi Flick, now the Barcelona manager, of course, who he worked with, was full of warm words for Danny Rule when he spoke to the media ahead of their Champions League game this week. And rates him highly. It's a poor ball by Gassama trying to put it in behind the fullback for Antman. The 2 wingers emerging on the right side. That's going out of play for a Rangers throw-in. It's a poor ball out of defence, so they've got a throw here. We're deep into the first of 2 minutes of stoppage time that were added on at the end of the opening 45 in Bergen. As Giga takes it across the halfway line. He's got Meghoma to his left, can't find him. Comes back to Giga off the Brann player. This time he gets it out to Meghoma, who works it back to Giga, who then goes all the way back to Butland, who comes well outside his box to collect. Long ball with the right foot from Jack Butland will go all the way through to Gungaland up the other end. Stays Brann 1, Rangers 0.
That's how it's going to be at half-time. Liam, and a bit of work for Danny Rule to do in his very first half-time team talk. Got to be better Rangers in the second half than they've shown in this opening 45.
They'll need to be better as Brann come down the right. Little header in towards the Rangers box, cleared by Suter. And out for a throw into the home team, about level with the edge of the D of the Rangers box on the right hand side of the pitch. Brann attacked the goal to the left hand side. Let's come back onto the halfway line here for Elvind Helland, who will then shift it to Dragsness on the left. He goes back to his goalkeeper. We've played the 2 minutes of stoppage time, and the Greek referee blows for the interval. The Brann supporters rise as one. With a look at that to acclaim Emil Kornvig, whose goal has given Brann the lead. It came late on in the first half, but you can't say the Norwegians don't deserve it. That means the half-time scoreline in Bergen is 1-0 to the home side. Rangers missed a glorious opportunity through Sharmiti with a weak header at the end. Just hasn't been good enough for Rangers, and it just isn't good enough from Scottish football right now as we join the closing stages in Athens, where it's even worse in the Conference League. AK 3, Aberdeen 0, deep into stoppage time. Willie Miller's with Andrew Petrie.
Jack Milne, he's not an experienced central defender. You know, you hope that he'll learn from that, but absolutely, that's the seventh big opportunity that you know the Greek side have had, and Aberdeen very lucky, very fortunate not to see that one settling in the back of the net.
Sometimes in these games, if it's 3-0 at half-time, it tends to stay 3-0. The foot kind of comes off the gas in the second half, but AK are in behind again. This could be the fourth. Eliasson twisting, turning, and it's off the line. This one is cleared behind. I think it is Nicky Devlin. No, it's Alfie Dorrington who's holding his ribs. Eliasson got in behind Jensen there, took it away from Milne and away from Dorrington and away from Mitov, tried the shot, and Dorrington, they're saying it hits his ribs. I wonder if this will be checked by VAR. Maybe hits his knee.
Yeah.
He was certainly holding his ribs anyway.
Yeah. I think just to emphasise that it wasn't a handball, or it didn't go near his arm, but it was very close to it. But another big opportunity there for Eliasson. He should have done better.
That's Van Moran with the corner. It's a poor one. It's gone all the way out for a goal kick. We have played 5 minutes and then some, and there is the half-time whistle at the Hagia Sophia Stadium, and it has been a bruising 50 minutes in the end of football for Aberdeen. They started brightly, they started with inventive attacking play. It came to naught, and pretty quickly they were stung. Abu Bakari Koita getting the first after 11 minutes. A snapshot really from the edge of the box on his left foot that he drilled across the keeper and into the bottom corner. It stung Aberdeen, and they didn't quite wake up in time. He got a second pretty soon after as well in the 18th minute. 2-0 down after 18 minutes. All the plans that Jimmy Tilleen had worked so hard to put into place gone, and Aberdeen were left reeling. They conceded the third in the 27th minute. Nicholas Eliasson getting on the score sheet after Jack Milne had given the ball away on the edge of his own area. AEK worked it to the right hand side, and Eliasson just swept it under the goalkeeper. We can see some of the stats. 69% ball possession for AEK Athens, 4 shots on target, 15 total attempts. Aberdeen no shots on target to speak of. It was a really humiliating first half at times, Willie Miller. It finishes after 45 minutes, AEK Athens 3, Aberdeen 0.
Following Scotland's teams in Europe, live on Sports Sound.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
Modern life is full of wee annoying things, like posh shoppers.
Locate the poshest looking woman in there, right? And say this, excuse me, do you work here? She will lose her mind.
That's where Breaking the News comes in. We're here to help you make sense of the world we live in, making you feel super.
This summer, he's back. It's Ur Wooly.
Breaking the News, tomorrow from 1:30 on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. A big night for our clubs in Europe. 3 commentaries to come on Sports Sound and BBC Radio Scotland. 2 games underway, and it's not made for good listening so far for our Scottish side. Celtic at home to Sturm Graz in the Europa League. That one kicks off at 8 o'clock. We're on with you right through until 11 o'clock this evening. We'll hear the post-match reaction from all 3 managers of the Scottish clubs, and we'll get fan reaction between now and 11 o'clock. So lots and lots to look forward to on Sports Sound this evening. We'll get the half-time reports from both these games in a couple of minutes' time, but let's get to Celtic Park. That's a huge game tonight for Brendan Rodgers up against Sturm Graz. The team news will come through a little later on, but our match commentator Thomas Duncan is there for us. Good evening to you, Thomas. It feels like a big night for Brendan Rodgers and his players.
Yeah, absolutely, Kenny. Once we came back from the international break at the weekend, it was billed as a huge period in Celtic's season. I think 7 massive games in the space of 21 days, and of course they failed the first of those spectacularly in a way that I don't think anyone expected at Dens Park on Sunday with that 2-0 defeat, where they didn't really look like scoring, took an hour to get a shot even on target. And now it's all about bouncing back here in the Europa League against the Austrian champions. It'll be really interesting to see what kind of crowd is in here tonight with ongoing protests, fans voting with their feet and things. Of course, the summer and the lack of money spent and the boards. There's fans outside the ground actually handing out leaflets and things to give information to fellow supporters about further action. So it will be interesting to see what kind of atmosphere is in here tonight. Sturm Graz in their press conference yesterday kind of talked that up, coming here to a big stadium with an electric atmosphere, but I'm not sure that's quite what they'll be getting tonight. But we shall see. Of course, if Celtic do turn it on a pitch in a way that we've probably not seen this season so far, that can all change very quickly, and that will undoubtedly be the hope for Brendan Rodgers. And Sturm Graz are not a team to be feared, really. They did beat Rangers over there. I was over there, and they were a neat and tidy team. They were impressive enough, but we know Rangers this season are not exactly a really difficult team to score against. So they did have it all their own way in that first half. And I think if the Celtic of last season, if Sturm Graz were also in the Champions League last season, I think if they'd met in the Champions League a year ago here at Celtic Park, Celtic would have been firm favourites. I'm not so sure that is absolutely the case tonight. And I guess as well as waiting to see what kind of atmosphere, what kind of crowds we get tonight, we'll be interested to see the team when it comes out, to see if Brendan Rodgers has made any drastic changes to his team, and what kind of performance, if we get more intensity from Celtic this evening, which is the word that the manager keeps coming back to.
Yeah, thanks to Thomas. He keeps saying he's going to improve things. So far we've seen absolutely no evidence of that at all. Really interesting media conference from Brendan Rodgers yesterday. We'll hear more of that ahead of kick-off at 8 o'clock tonight. So more to come from Thomas and Pat Bonner there at Celtic Park. We'll get the thoughts of the guys on the Rangers performance. Rangers trailing by 1-0 away at Brann this evening in the Europa League. But my goodness, what a half-time score that is coming through from the Conference League this evening. AEK Athens 3, Aberdeen 0 at the break. Willie Miller is alongside us here in the studio. Willie, we've just been watching both games here, hearing bits and pieces of the commentary. How on earth do you explain that first half performance?
Kenny, Aberdeen are lucky it's 3. Mm-hmm. It should be 8. It should be 8. I mean, the chances they've created have been unbelievable. They've had 3 goals, the 3 goals well taken, 2 headers off the post, numerous other opportunities not taken as well. I'm looking at, I'm talking clear cut here, the 3 goals, the 2 off the post, and makes it up to 8 thereafter. Chances that they've had, it's been a lesson. It could get embarrassing. It actually should be embarrassing because Aberdeen have been ripped open, ripped apart. It's been such a naive performance from them. You look at the early opening stages and I'm wondering, is the tactics right? Taking it to AEK, and when you lose early goals as well, you've then got to think about the game a little bit more. And I didn't feel that Aberdeen did that. They don't have experience at this level. They certainly don't have experience at this level as a team. but they should be better, and it shouldn't be as embarrassing as what it was in the first half. One strike, I think, Carlson, from the free kick that went by. Took me by surprise. It was that far out. I wasn't expecting them to have the strike, but it's you just hope that they can put up a defensive performance in the second half and keep the scoreline down, because they're fortunate that it's only 3-0 at half time.
When we're watching a first half like that, Willie, and a game starts like that, you're looking at the sideline, you look at the manager to see what he can do to affect change, but it sounds like Jimmy Tilleen so far has done very little.
No, he's brought on Dorrington and took off Keskinen, which I think, was the right thing to do, because they were getting ripped apart. Has it helped? It's not really helped. It's an extra defender, but it's not really helped that much. They're non-existent now. First 10-15 minutes they were trying to get forward. They've stopped trying to get forward. The body language is telling us that they're looking drained. I think they're looking drained physically and mentally. They're surprised at the quality of the opposition, because they've been ripped apart. They don't have an answer for it. They're not getting close to any opposition players. They're not making it difficult. And every time it gets round about the 30 yards, AK look as though they're going to score. They actually look as though they're going to score. Jack Milne makes an error, but Mitov makes the error as well, playing the ball to Jack Milne, and he tries to do a little flick, and the ball's stolen off him, and it ends up in the back of the net. It's so naive. It's so naive. I'm watching the first 10-15. I says, well, it's positive, and Jimmy Tilleen's a positive manager, but is it wise? And it wasn't wise. I think a much more restrained approach to the game was required, a much more studied approach to the game. And the players at this level look as though, well, they haven't played at this level, so they're surprised at how good the opposition are, and it's just a case of just trying to fall back into a five, get your two sitting midfielders to be defenders rather than attackers, and maybe hope that you get up the park. I doubt very much if Aberdeen will get anything. Well, they won't get anything out of the game, but I'm talking about maybe in a positive fashion, maybe creating something or getting a goal. I think the worrying aspect is that it could be more. It could be more.
Yeah, thanks to Willie. Full second half commentaries have come from Thomas Duncan and Willie Miller. Just briefly on this one, James, like Billy Dodge, have been watching both games, coming in, listening to the guys on commentary duty. As Willie said, this could turn out to be a really embarrassing night for the Dons.
Yeah, I mean, it's embarrassing enough, because the performance of the first half, the goals they've given away, the chances they've given away, really, really poor, wide open against what's proven to be a decent side. I think Willie made the point on Jack Milne getting caught in the ball. I think Mitov, there's two things. Well, there's more than two. He shouldn't give it to him.
Yeah,
actually, he should. If he's going to give it to him, play it first time with a bit of speed on it. He stops the ball and rolls it into him. Jack Milne should then just give it back to him for him to clear it, but he doesn't want to put his goalkeeper in trouble. He's already been put in trouble by his goalkeeper. Tries a trick, gets taken off him, and they're punished. But it's been a really poor performance in the first half. For all speaking about Aberdeen and the way they've come back and started to look really good, they've been ripped apart tonight, and it's been a bit of a spectacle, and there's a long second half to come.
Yeah, full second half commentary to come from Andrew and from Willie. Billy Dodds looking at the game, Brann against Rangers, not a whole lot better for the Scottish side there either. They've really not created it. They've had a couple of half chance, one decent chance, one half chance. It's not been great. We've not seen any, and listen, I think we have to put anything in context. He's had a couple of training sessions, but we've not seen anything different tonight, have we?
Not yet. But same players, same kind of results. Scrappy. Mm-hmm. They've had a couple of opportunities, a couple of moments, Rangers, but they've also had a couple defensively, and we spoke about that at the start of the game. Be organised, be defensively sound, make sure, especially away from home in Europe, that you're looking as if you're going to maybe be more solid, but they've not been. The goal, they're down that left side. James Tavernier trying to play offside, the two centre halves marking the striker. I think Tavernier's wanting maybe Suter to spread wider, but that doesn't happen, so it's an easy ball down the channel, and they're not sure what they're going to do with it. He thinks about hitting it, and then he drags his leg out it and just sclaffs it across the goal. Nobody picks up the runner. Magoma's high up the pitch for some reason, and then Convict just taps it home. Nico Raskin try to get back in. The game's been scrappy. They've had a couple of chances. Brann, and they've taken one with a scrappy goal. That doesn't surprise me the way it's going. The one we did speak about, the big man needs a goal, Chermiti, but you can see he's so naive, he's so inexperienced. Stevie Thompson will tell you how to head the ball properly, but he just let it hit off him and he looks as if he closed his eyes. That's lack of experience, especially at that level. And that was a golden chance for him to start his Rangers career.
And that's the thing, isn't it, Faddy? Lack of experience, but a big price tag. Rangers paid a lot of money for Chermiti. There's a lot of expectation on him. As Billy said, the same players. Have you seen anything different in terms of the approach under the new manager?
No. I mean, as you said, it's tough to get, massive change in 2 training sessions. Trying to be probably more offensive minded in that they don't need to play that extra pass. If it's on to go, they'll go. I think that, Chermiti should do a lot better, but what I like is he makes a move to get himself back on side. He's calling for the pass for Raskin, which is a brilliant pass, and at the last minute, I don't know if it's just overstretching, don't know if he shuts his eyes, don't know if he's in two minds of whether to go for goal or head it back across goal, but that's a player that's needing development and needing a bit of confidence. And on the goal, Suter's screaming at Tavernier to go and match his man, and he doesn't. Then Suter's got a man, Jiga's got a man, and then as Dodgy says, when he gets into the wide area, it's almost like he doesn't know what to do. The guy pulls the trigger to hit a shot, fluffs it, and then Rangers are one behind.
Yeah, they've conceded way too many easy goals, Rangers, this season. A choice of listening once again on Sports. And for Brann against Rangers in the Europa League, tuned to BBC Radio Scotland on 92 to 95 FM. 5 Sports Extra on digital with both options on BBC Sounds. For AEK Athens against Aberdeen in the Conference League, tuned to BBC Radio Scotland digital, medium wave and 5 Sports Extra 2. Again, both are on BBC Sounds. Both matches are live online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland.
And in Bergen, Rangers looking to do a whole lot better in the second half and try and even get a point, get their first point of this season's Europa League registered. Easier said than done by the looks of this so far. It'll be Brann will kick off, all in red with white flashes left to right as we watch this game, with Rangers in one of their change colours, the black and dark blue with white numbers, and they will go right to left. Brann kick off the second half, the first whistle from the Greek referee for the second 45. Rangers' 5th match against a side from Norway. They have won 3 and drawn 1 of the previous games against Norwegian sides, so unbeaten against teams from Norway. Not that there's been too many meetings. Their first since they faced Molde in the old UEFA Cup in 2006. They won 2-0 at Ibrox. It was a goalless draw away from home. Their only previous outing against their Norwegian side came against Lillestrøm in the Cup Winners' Cup in 1979. They won both legs. As I mentioned, Brann up against a Scottish team for just the second time, having played St Mirren over 2 legs in Conference League qualifying last season. No changes for either team at the start of the second half as Meghoma sees it behind for a goal kick. So the Rangers 11 remains the same. Butland in goal, Tavernier, Jiga, Suter, Meghoma, Raskan, Asgard and Rothwell, Ant-Man and Gassama with Chermiti. The Rangers bench, which will be looked to at some point in the near future: Kelly, Cornelius, Fernandez, Aarons, Rice, Barron, McCallion, Curtis, Moore, Cameron, Miovski and Danilo. It's Brann in possession over on the far side, but it goes out for a Rangers throw-in, which Tavernier has taken quickly up towards Yusuf Chermiti, who changes pace and goes behind, and he's won his team a corner right in front of the Rangers support over on the far side of the stadium out there in Norway, and Chermiti did well on that occasion.
Yeah, he did. I actually think it comes off him last, and the linesman was kind of swaying whether or not to give it to them, but eventually he does, and a chance for Rangers to answer back really early in this second half. It's going to be Tavernier without Swinger.
Plenty up for Rangers. What can they do with this? Second corner of the match for them, and it comes from Tavernier. Suter gets his head to it, heads it down towards the 6-yard line where it's cleared. Rifled goalwards there off Ant-Man, who's offside when Gassama caught it, and that will be a free kick to Brann Bergen. They've got Rangers to believe that they can still get something out of this match. They're just one behind. It could be more.
At 1-0, anything's possible, Liam. The performances have to going to be better than it was in the first half, and also when they do get an opportunity, which inevitably you think that they will manage to create opportunities in this second half, they've got to take them. You've got to be ruthless at European level of football.
The Rangers know that, having got to the quarters of this tournament last season. Finished in the top 8 of the league phase. That is but a pipe dream this season, particularly if they end up losing this one as well. Sitting 32nd in the table after 2 games, as that comes all the way back to Dungeland at the edge of his box. It's a Norwegian cap. He was another like Bard Finn, who I mentioned in the first half, who was on the bench for both matches against Scotland in Euro 2024 qualifying. It's played short to the left-hand side there for Elvin Helland, the left centre-back, clipped into the midfield. Little turn there up against Giga by Noah Holm, who's going to be awarded the free kick for that. It was impeded by Raskan.
I think Brann were hoping for the play to continue here and get the advantage. It's poor from Giga, gets far too tight and gets spun by Holm eventually. And Rangers probably lucky that the referee didn't give advantage, because they had a break on down the right hand side there.
Long ball played out to the left hand side for Brann, which bobbles back off Finn and out for a Rangers throw-in. A bit level with the edge of the centre circle in the Rangers half. And it's James Tavernier over it, bowls it forward. It bounces through towards Asgard. He's not going to get there though. It's turned back to his goalkeeper there by the skipper, Palsson. The loose ball collected in the midfield by Kornvik, driving forward out to the left hand side it goes. Kornvik gets it back. He's attacking the final third under pressure. He rolls it back the way and comes to Palsson just to the right of the centre circle. Everyone bar the Brann goalkeeper in the Rangers half, I think, here, as that goes out to play for a throw-in to the home team over on the left hand side off Rothwell. This is about level with the edge of the arc of the Rangers box on the Brann left. So look for a second goal, which might just kill this one. Finn has it, level with the 6-yard line. Comes back towards Tavernier, down by the corner flag. It's not a decisive clearance by Tavernier, who did get back onto it momentarily. And then out on the left-hand side, it's shifted back towards Helland. Then out to the left touchline it goes again. Rangers with plenty back to defend this. Short ball back to Helland again, and then he finds Palsson Knudsen, who knocks it high out to the right hand side, looking to try and get Matthijssen involved. It goes out of play off a Rangers player last, took a deflection off Meghoma, and it is a throw to Brann beyond the midway point of the Rangers half. 1-0 to the Norwegians. 6 minutes of the second half have come and gone. That's been squeezed through to Emil Kornvik, the goal scorer, as Meghoma tries to prevent the corner and goes out of play. And I'm not sure if the corner's eventually been awarded as a throw-in. Yeah.
Strong play from home, big physical specimen.
De Roof over the throw in here, the Belgian right back for the home team. Long throw level with the Rangers 6-yard line, and it comes home, heads on. Kornvik goes for it, but it bounces off his head and Ant-Man clears, but the ref blows his whistle to give Rangers a free kick inside their own box.
Yeah, I think it's for the initial contact. There's no home again, just as the ball comes in. Yeah, he pushes Raskin out the way. The referee let the play go on for a couple of seconds, but he's brought it back.
Is Danny Rule the made the correct decision not to make personnel changes for the start of the second half?
Well, at 1-0 down, there's no panic really. He'll be hoping that Rangers can build their way into the second half and create opportunities, but there's absolutely no doubt he'll go to his bench at some stage.
Rangers have it in the near side with Meg Homa. He's done well to get away from his man, driving down the left flank. He's in the Brann half. There's a foul there by Cornvig, who is having a go at the referee for that decision.
Yeah, I think he thinks he got a wee nick in the ball, which he might well have done, but it was more positive from Magoma.
Not sure what he's complaining about when you see the replay of it. See both hands on Makoma's back, pushing him to the deck. Rangers free kick. James Tavernier, who was top scorer in this tournament when he helped Rangers to the final, ultimately beaten by Eintracht Frankfurt in Seville. He's got a chance to swing the ball into the mixer here. Right-footed from Tavernier. It's very loopy and he's waiting for Dungaland, who holds on. It stays Brann 1, Rangers 0.
Yeah, he's normally so much better than that. It's James Tavernier with his deliveries. Just got way underneath it. You could tell as soon as it left his foot, it was going into the goalkeeper's arms.
It is with Rothwell in the midfield. Stabs it back into his own half for Suter. And roll it to the left-hand side of the pitch here for Meg Homa. Square ball for Raskan, who's just making his way into the centre circle. He rolls it to his right for Suter. Out to the far side for Antman's a dreadful first touch. It really was. Noah Holm is onto it and he shifts it to the left-hand side. Antman driving back, desperately trying to redeem himself, but he's given away a free kick left-hand side of the box. It's not a great 20 seconds for Oliver Antman, the Finland international.
Well, it certainly is not, and it comes from him taking a really heavy touch initially, and then he's trying to make up for it, trying to follow Dragness all the way back in as he drove towards the Rangers 18 and eventually clips him, gives the foul away. I mean, for a guy that had the debut of dreams, ever since then he's really struggled in a Rangers shirt.
Yeah, the Rangers fans would have been excited when they saw Antman make his debut. And Rangers made short work of Panathinaikos and Victoria Pilsen in the home legs in Champions League qualifying. An opportunity for Brann here from the free kick. In it comes and it's headed in and it's all too easy. Sorensen glances the header into the far right corner from the free kick. It is atrocious defending by Rangers. And Brann Bergen have their second goal 10 minutes into the second half, and it's a long way back for Rangers in Danny Röhl's first game in charge. It is the same old story for them. Brann 2, Rangers 0.
Well, I mean, you've got to say it comes from Antman and him taking that heavy touch, going back in, giving the foul away needlessly, and then the ball that comes in is a really good ball into the middle of the 6-yard box. But again, you've got to question the marking. Not good enough. The header, it's an easy header in the end, just needed a glance. He got it. He's free, he's in between Magoma and Giga. Nobody picking him up. The quality of ball is excellent, but it's got to be so much better for Rangers in the middle of that box. You've got to command and go and win the first contact. They do not do that.
It's just been a display of pure timidity from Rangers, and an awful start to the second half for them, and it looks like an awful start for Aberdeen in the Conference League. Already 3-0 down, and their night too, Brian McLaughlin, has just taken another turn.
It certainly has. It's number 18, Razvan Marin, who's scored this one. It was wonderful play down the left-hand side. Again, though, you'd have to say that Aberdeen, their own downfall, they gave the ball away at the back, and the ball was played across goal, came off the inside of the post, and there was Marin with an overhead kick to knock the ball into the roof of the net. We have played almost an hour here, I think it is now, in the Greek capital Athens, and the scoreline is Aiki Athens 4, Aberdeen 0.
Well, that right now, a 4-goal margin of defeat's Aberdeen's record in Europe. 5-1 against Bayern Munich and Sigma Olomouc. They also were beaten 4-0 by Liverpool just before they took Europe by storm in the early 80s. So they're staring at a potential record defeat. Meantime, Stephen, Rangers appear to have made a change. Mikey Moore has come on.
Yeah, for Ant-Man, and I think that's probably just a frustration. Danny Rule looking at Ant-Man, given that free kick away that led to the second goal. Young Mikey Moore will come on, another who's struggled to live up to the reputation.
He has, hasn't he? Big time.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of chat before he arrived, and you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt because he is a very young player with lots of potential. But when you're coming into a team that's struggling, it's difficult to try and make your mark, and a lot expected of him. Yet to see it.
That fourth AEK goal was a mistake by the man who was the hero on Saturday, Marko Lazetic for Aberdeen. So 4-0 AEK Athens. Barely 10 into the second half of that one. Rangers 2-0 down in Norway. And Scottish football's ills are showing no sign of improving. We will hope that Celtic, who kick off in less than an hour's time, can produce something a bit more optimistic when they take on Sturm Graz at Celtic Park in their third Europa League game, because it's looking like the other two are going to be beaten again. It's been a dreadful season in the Europa and Conference League. There was a couple of shining lights in qualifying from Hibs and Dundee United, but Rangers early on in the Champions League, but it's been tortuous stuff since then. Raskan picking up deep inside Brann territory as he makes his way towards the box. His pass in field's cut out, and Brann able to clear, and it's just been too easy for the third best team in Norway right now.
Yeah, it has been, Liam. I was expecting to see a bit more intent from Rangers in this second half from an attacking point of view.
A chance here for McGoma, but his cross cut out by Deruve, who clears.
But they've looked devoid of creativity. They really have.
They just look like a team that doesn't really know what it's meant to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, well, that was a problem under Russell Martin. Obviously, way too early to be judging Danny Rule. He needs, as I said before the show, a lot of time on the grass with these players. But you're not just going to make them great players overnight or a great team overnight.
McGoma with the cross.
It's going to take a lot of work.
Which is cleared all the way into the Rangers half. It is fairly remarkable how few matches Rangers have won in recent times. Going back into last season, they've only won 8 of their last 26, which for Rangers this isn't good enough. As McGoma crosses into the box, and it's over the bar from Raskan. It's a decent chance. In fact, Moore, who was ghosting in from the penalty spot, tacked it between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box and puts it over. He kicks the post in frustration.
Yeah, this time the ball in from McGoma's a decent one. Mikey Moore's movement's good. He gets himself into a position and actually should be doing better when you look at it. Takes it on the half volley. Yeah, that's a reasonably difficult skill, but he should still be hitting the target. Just leaning back a wee bit and lifts it a good yard 2 over the bar.
Short goal kick there, back to the goalkeeper Dungaland, who clears it long in towards the centre circle, where it's met by the head of Suter. Isama chasing after it. Deruve gets there first, and he's kept it in as well. It was excellent play by Denzel Deruve, the young Belgian former youth international.
Yeah, I think the referee's given a foul. I mean, he was racing towards the byline or the touchline with McGoma, gets there first, clears it, and then I think McGoma's given him a nudge. It's Isama actually right on the edge of the touchline, and right decision to give the foul.
Scottish football's in the doldrums, isn't it, right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's really disappointing, Liam. And you're right to point out Dundee United and Hibernian in their qualifying and trying to get into the latter stages, both put in really strong performances, but so far it's looking like 3 games, 3 defeats for Rangers, which, in terms of the Europa League, has been so good to them, and they've bbeen so good in this competition over the last few years. It maybe just shows where they are right now as a club.
Raskan, and then Moore, and then Tavernier, but he can't get onto it. It goes out for a throw into Brann on the far side. Brann 2, Rangers 0, approaching 62 minutes. The ball is played forward into the feet of Holm, who fires it all the way back into his own half.
It's a strange choice of pass, that.
It's all the way back to his goalkeeper. Brann will be quite happy with this, having beaten Utrecht last time out. They will be 2 wins from 3, sitting relatively pretty. The Rangers looking at a situation where they're going to have to win, you would imagine, 4 of their final 5 matches in this.
Tough games as well.
Position, yeah. I mean, you would have been confident that Rangers would have been taking points out of their opening 3 fixtures of
you
Europa
look
League
at those
in
3
previous
and
years.
thought that,
Take points from them.
the most realistic ones to try and get points from, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way.
Rangers on the ball with Tavernier midway inside the Brann half, back to Suter on the halfway line, and he fires it to Giga, left of the centre circle. So he makes his way into the Brann half, rolls it low out to right hand side. It's in from Tavernier. It's very deep, and it's too deep, and it's going to bounce behind for the goal kick, and it will stay Brann Bergen 2, Rangers 0 on 63 minutes.
When they have worked the ball into wide areas, which has not been often enough this evening, Rangers, the quality ball in hasn't been really good enough either. Looks like Majovski is going to be coming on, must be for Chermiti on the hour mark. Yeah, I mean, another frustrating night for the big striker. He's young, I know that. Raw, maybe, yeah.
Price tag,
but
negates all that, doesn't it?
That's what exactly I was just about to say. You know, if you're buying somebody for 8 million, you're not buying them as a project to try and improve. An 8 million player arriving in your doorstep should be the finished article for you. No, it's not. It's Rothwell that's coming off. Oh no, it's Barron's coming on for him. Sorry, I didn't see Barron there.
Yeah, they've just shown us Connor Barron there. So Barron comes on and replaces Rothwell, and Bojan Majovski will replace Asgard.
Well, there you go. So he's clearly going to go with the 2 up top in an attempt to get back into this match.
So 2-0 Brann against Rangers, 4-0 EAK Athens against Aberdeen. A miserable night. Rangers' next Europa League fixture is against the Italians Roma at Ibrox on the 6th of November. Can they somehow get a foothold in this match? When they get the next goal, then you never know. But they find themselves in the same position they did in Austria, where they were 2-0 down to Sturm Graz. They did pull one back through Gisama, but they need something to get them going here. As Majovski gives chase, but it's rolled forward out to the left-hand side there for Dragsnes. Suter, and then Barron, he loses out, and Brann have it back. Little slip there, and Chermiti chases, but it's beaten to it by Paulsen Knudsen. Clears it out to the far side. Tavernier hooks it over his head, but only to the benefit of Kornvig here. Kornvig driving at the Rangers box. Faced by Tavernier. Barron gets back. Barron, though, concedes the corner.
Yeah, a bit of a loose clearance from Tavernier that set up Kornvig down the left-hand side. He drives with the ball eventually. Barron getting back in from that deep midfield position to get a toe in. Rangers going 4-4-2 now, so it is a more adventurous, if you like, formation as they try and get back into this game, but they will leave themselves outnumbered at times in the middle of the park. And another opportunity, they've got to defend this better.
4-4-2 used to be the norm, now it's adventurous.
I loved it.
It is the corner, and it comes away by Moore. Back into the box it goes, blocked on the 18-yard line by Gisama, I think it was. He got onto that as the long ball comes through all the way to Dungaland, who plays it to his right, and it's collected by De Roove. Moves infield, plays it forward, and Brann get it back, and it's slipped out to Kornvig, who's in a bit of space wide on the right-hand side. Rolls it infield channel, and it's slipped through there towards Matthijsen. The cross comes in from the right, and it's cleared by Raskan. Picked up there by Gisama. Plays it back to Mekhoma, who clears, but it's only half away. Here is Kornvig. And on this right-hand side, it's Matthijsen, but a misunderstanding with Kornvig, and it's dinked behind for the goal kick, and it stays Brann 2, Rangers 0. And the home team going to make a couple of changes here as we go into the final quarter of the match, Stephen.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how confident the home fans are. They're giving it the old A's. 67 minutes on the clock and kept possession of the ball there. 5-6 passes, the old A's started. So they're clearly enjoying their night over in Brann, the home support. But can't say so much for the travelling 800 Rangers supporters.
So Matthijssen coming off. And the other man to come off, I think, is going to be Bard Finn. They brought on Tor Pedersen, who's the right back, so he'll go in and also play centre back as well, as Marcus Holland comes on too. He was a local from Bergen. He was a Brann supporter as a kid. So those are the two changes. Holland is a midfielder, as Brann look to see this one out. And we'll be very happy with where they are in the match right now, leading by 2-0. Europa League match day 3 in Norway. It's a ball dinked up towards Moore on the halfway line. It's fed forward towards Shermiti. He's got Miovski to his right, can't control it though. And it's passed back to the goalkeeper. Dungaland has it. So he launches it forward. A little cushion header from Tavernier, finds Giga, knocks it forward towards Shermiti, can't control. It's won back by Palsen Knudsen. De Roef picks up, he's had it nicked off him by Meghoma. Little back heel from Miovski to Raskan. Looks up at the Brann box, no one really to his right. Moore's not in the best of positions. He finds Tavernier, who switches it out to Meghoma. He gets it back from Barron after the 1-2. That goes Gassama. Did he slip? Yes, he did. No free kick as he slaps the turf in frustration. 21 minutes left. Brann 2, Rangers 0.
He was trying to be positive. Pedersen did have an arm of his shirt, so he's got a case for a foul, but I don't think the referee sees that. He sees then Gassama slip. Probably should have been a foul to Rangers, that.
And there's Giga with the header into the Brann half, but it's to nobody really, and Brann clear. Long ball comes all the way through to Jack Butland. Rangers sitting 6th in the Premiership right now, 9 points from their first 8 games. It's the 1 win following last Saturday's draw with Dundee United. They host Kilmarnock on Sunday. Danny Rule, his first home game, first domestic match. But they find themselves in a hole in Western Norway right now with 20 minutes to play. Somehow they've got to find 2 unanswered goals to take something out of this. But the fact is, they don't look like scoring 1, let alone 2.
That's the big problem, Liam. It really is. And yes, they've changed the formation. 2 wingers, 2 strikers, but they're giving up possession of the ball far too easily. They can't really build to get into an area where they're looking threatening. And actually at this minute in time, you see Bergen are looking more likely.
They are, and they've got it again down the left hand side. There's a couple waiting in the middle. So they try and work this to the edge of the box. The shot is blocked there as it came in from Gudmundsson, who got the second, and then that effort's blocked, and now it goes for a... Well, it hasn't gone out of play, it's still in play. Brann, as Rangers launched it long down the right hand side, it was kept in play, but the referee's stopped because Giga's down.
Yeah, it was another ball up to Shermiti down the right hand side this time, and it's just got to be stronger. I think he was looking for the foul, he's looking at the linesman, the referee asking for the foul, but I think the Brann defender got a wee bit of the ball and just used a wee bit of experience and body strength to stop Shermiti getting on it. Time's running out.
Well, Giga's down receiving treatment, and he was preferred to Derek Cornelius this evening, which is a slight surprise given Nasser Giga's had a difficult start to his Rangers career on loan from Wolves. He's down with the medics working with him right now. So in the Europa League, Rangers 2 behind against Brann, Aberdeen 4-0 down against AEK, who are continuing to press, and if Aberdeen concede 1 more, they're looking at their record European defeat.
They've got a long 20 minutes ahead of them.
18 minutes left in Norway. And we are less than 45 minutes away from kick-off in Glasgow's East End, where Celtic host Sturm Graz. Derek Cornelius is going to come on now, the Canada international, and the lesser spotted Danilo as well, who's got, I mean, he's on to yet another manager he's having to impress, because he scored a few goals, Danilo, including against Celtic in the League Cup final last season, but his Rangers career hasn't taken off yet. He's a big money signing.
Yeah, big money, and it looked as though at the start of this season that Russell Martin really quite fancied him, gave him a run in the team, but he never really managed to cement that place as the number one striker. Perhaps this time round under Danny Reilly will get another opportunity.
Long ball forward there by Dungaland's going to come all the way through to Butland, who's outside his box to get onto it though, and he plays it first time high out to the near side. Eventually it bobbles between Raskan and Gassama. It settles in the midfield for Conor Barron, but the referee's going to give Rangers a free kick here. Barron tried to take it quickly. There was a foul on Nikola Raskan. And it will be a Rangers free kick from, well, just inside Brann territory, which is played back into their own half there for Giga, who's still on. He's back on his feet. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to last. Cornelius was being readied by the pictures we saw a moment ago. Whether they make that change or not, I'm not sure. As Meghoma, he's facing his own goal and he's running into danger, and it's picked up by Noah Holm. Big strikers come out wide right and he plays it back the way, and it's now with Palsen Knudsen out to the right hand side for the sub Pedersen. Back to De Roof, runs into Meghoma though, and didn't look like a great challenge there, and the referee's gone to his pocket. It's going to be a yellow card for Pedersen, the sub.
Well, he fairly launched himself into the tackle. I don't think he times it well at all. Majowski gets a wee nick before the challenge comes in. We'll get a better look at it now.
Yeah, Bojan Majowski was chasing after that, and then they cut the replay just before the impact.
Thanks for that. That was a great help. But yeah, yellow card. It looked a yellow card. It looked a yellow card in real time, you have to say.
Yeah. And we saw a Rangers yellow in the first half, which was ridiculous at the time. It came in Kornvig's matinee performance. And Rangers have Majowski down receiving treatment after that tackle, so I hope he's okay.
And a scrappy last 5 or so minutes, Liam.
Yeah, I mean, it just right now it looks like Brann, as we see a replay of Jakob Sorensen's header, which made it 2-0 10 minutes into the second half. It just looks like it's petering out here.
It does. It does. I mean, if Rangers can get a goal in the next 5 or so minutes, it could make for an exciting end to the match, but it's difficult to see where it's going to come from. Here comes the subs, and maybe Danilo's going to be the man to make an impact. You don't know.
Cornelius and Danilo will come on now. Off comes Giga, and he's replaced by Cornelius. He's away with Canada during the recent international break. Sharmiti's replaced by Danilo. Sharmiti had that big chance, didn't he, at 0-0 in the first half, and now he'll be looking back at that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the other parts of his game this evening, don't get me wrong, he's worked hard, but I feel as though he's not used his body well enough as the lone striker in terms of being able to link the play, and it's been a really kind of lonely evening for him, and he'll look back at that chance and he'll be thinking of that chance, because he needs to get a run of goals just to get his confidence up, and that was a big opportunity for him.
Meghoma with a short throw into Danilo, turns it back to Barron. It's towards the edge of the Brann box. Down goes Moore, no free kick. Brann will play it out of trouble here. It's popped forward. That's a cynical foul. There'll be a yellow card, an instant yellow. The ref has dropped it on the ground, but it's only delaying the inevitable. 77 played, Brann 2, Rangers 0.
Well, again, Rangers losing possession of the ball. Brann on the counter, and the first touch was excellent, pass Suter. Then it's basically just an arm round the neck and brought to the ground. It's cleared a yellow card, I think, as you'll ever see.
Here come another couple of changes for Brann. Mads Hansen, former Danish under-21 international, who's previously at Nordsjælland. He's coming off. The Brann players are claiming those who are making way, as you can hear in the background. And the other man to come on is Mads Sand, who is another former youth international for Norway. And they are taking off the number 21 there, the right back, the Ruve. Big hug from the coaching staff. It's been if you're a Brann supporter, if you're the Brann manager, you're very happy with what you've seen tonight, and you're going to be very happy with the result.
Well, it puts Brann in an excellent position. 2 wins from 3.
Well, they'll see what Bodø Glimt have done recently, and they'll feel there's no reason why they can't go on and emulate that. Bodø Glimt were semi-finalists in this tournament last season, unless we forget. A great run in the Conference League. I think it was the inaugural season of the Conference League that Bodø Glimt beat Roma on their way to the knockout stage. Or stages. And there's a little over 10 minutes left, and Rangers need to find 2 goals, and efforts on target in the second half have been hard to come by. And it's Brann who are doing the attacking here. It's rolled out to the left, little ball into the box, chance for number 3, and there it is. 3rd goal for Brann. And it's a great take by Noah Holm as well, as he broke to him in the box, and he rifles it home and bulges the net as well, and scenes of jubilation in the stadium out there in Norway as Holm celebrates. And it is Brann 3, Rangers 0. Another dreadful night for Scottish football.
Yeah, and that is officially game over now, Liam. Any chance that Rangers had of coming back into this game have well and truly gone. And it was a great break from Brann down the left-hand side. When the cross does come in, again, Rangers do not deal with it at all well. Cornelius is there waiting to clear it, but Raskin nicks in right in front of him and puts his toe on it, which makes the ball deflect into the path of Noah Holm. He sets himself with a touch in the chest and fires it low. Nothing Butland can do there, but again, maybe just communication. Cornelius should be just saying to Raskin, I've got this, I'm dealing with it. Raskin didn't need to try and get a touch on it. He does, and that is what then deflects it into Noah Holm's path. And yeah, a really disappointing evening for Rangers, and disappointing debut for Danny Röhl.
Well, what it's doing is it's opening his eyes to the depths of problems that Rangers are suffering right now. He's seeing it all. It's been laid bare right in front of him. As Rangers come forward, the cross from Moore comes all the way through to Dungaland, who holds on at his near post. But in the final 10 of the 90, but this game is dead and buried for Rangers.
That is, Liam. I mean, you could improve by working on the training pitch, improve Rangers' performances, improve individuals, and he'll be hoping he can do that over the coming period of time. But can you put a mentality into this group of players? Can you make them into a winning machine that Rangers needs to be if they want to be challenging where they want to be challenging on all fronts? That's the big question. It's not just about the football. There's a fragility about this Rangers team. There's a lack of leadership, and that's going to be as big a task for Danny Röhl as it is getting them playing better football. Yeah, but we're now at a point where Scottish clubs are going to Norway and are on the receiving end of a heavy defeat. As Gassama picks up on the left of the Brann box, he goes down and wins the free kick, level with the penalty spot. But anything Rangers get back now will be mere scant consolation. Yeah, it will be. Gassama down the left, does well, cuts inside. Pedersen maybe just the slightest of nicks on the shin pad.
It's 5-0 in Athens, incidentally. Let's go to Brian McLaughlin. Awful, awful, awful.
Awful, 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 but the best goal of the night. It's a magnificent play from AEK Athens in and around the box, and it was substitute Luka Jovic eventually there must have been a dozen passes at least, close passes as well, inside the box. Jovic, he took the ball round the goalkeeper and then hammered it high into the roof of the net. This has been a great tragedy here in Athens tonight for Aberdeen, but Athens AK are a very, very good side. It's AK Athens 5, Aberdeen 0.
PAOK were a good side when Aberdeen played them 2 years ago, yet the Dons managed a 2-2 draw out there and should have beaten them at home. So yes, they are a good side, there's no question, but 5-0 to AEK against an insipid Aberdeen. 5-0 AEK, 3-0 Brann in the 2 games.
I'm looking forward to hearing what Willie's got to say about it after.
Well, I'm talking about a man who lifted 2 European trophies.
Yeah,
he's going to have to pick the bones out of that. There's Meg Homa rolling it out to the right for Tavernier, and then eventually it's passed back to Barron for Butland. But you've got to remember, Rangers are spending £4-5 million, in Chermiti's case 9, as Rangers tried to do something down the right hand side. It's been given away though. Breaks to Suter, he'll roll it back to his goalkeeper. Butland in possession, and he goes long with the left foot into the Brann half. The header down to the far side's mopped up by Tavernier, but his ball is given away as well. I mean, this is a night, over the course of the 2 matches, there are 0 positives. 0.
No, I can't think of any from this Rangers performance this evening. Really poor in possession, lacking goal threat, and defensively for all 3 goals you can say at fault. So a disappointing evening and tons of work for the new manager to do it.
Noah Holmes coming off, the man who got the 3rd will be Lars Remim, who will come on, Norway under-20 international, academy product at Brann Bergen. So we see a replay of Holmes' goal. It's good tape, he's got the freedom of Bergen there in the box.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, if Raskin doesn't get involved, Cornelius deals with it. But yeah, just 3 goals that were avoidable, and if you're going away from home in Europe and gifting goals to opposition teams, you're not coming back with a result.
Well, Luka Jovic, who scored the 5th goal for AEK, of course scored for Serbia against Scotland in that Euro 2020 playoff final in Belgrade, which the Scots recovered from to win on penalties. But it is a goal that has Aberdeen staring at their record European defeat, and 5 is being kind on them.
What was it Willie said? It should be 8 at half time?
Well, Willie Miller said it should have been 8 at the break. So they're actually getting away with it at 5-0. That tells its own story about the sorry early evening of Scottish European football.
Yeah, an aggregate of 8-0 over the 2 games. Not great.
So far, there's still time in both. And it's Brann in possession. It's shifted there to Helland. Left hand side, he's given it away under pressure as Barron goes in on the challenge. It ricochets back towards the Brann box, but it's cleared by Palsson Knudsen. Gassama beats Pedersen to it. It's picked up by Danilo. His ball's wayward, but he gets a second chance as it bounces back to him. Barron picks up out to the right hand side for Moore, and then Tavernier's underlapping right hand side of the box, and it comes too high for Miovski. Brann head clear. Barron picks it up, rolls it to Tavernier. Barron looks up, gets the ball in again. It's headed away there by Kornvig. We got the first Brann goal. Rangers pick up with Raskan in field there to Gassama, it was, as he goes to ground, fouled by Sand, and that will be a free kick to Rangers in an attacking position.
Yeah, it was a good take from Gassama. Clear foul from Sand, and this is actually in James Tavernier territory. Maybe he's well having a go. They've not managed to create anything. That's maybe just slightly further back, but I wouldn't have put it past him having a go. He might just clip this into the penalty spot.
The TV showing glum faces on Rangers supporters. And for the Rangers and Aberdeen fans, they're going to be getting kept in after as well, which won't help as Tavernier floats the free kick in, and not one Rangers player can make contact, and it goes behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, he did what I thought he would. He just clipped it in towards that back post, and Cornelius probably would have been given a foul against him for climbing anyway, and it's Suter that's behind him, can't react quickly enough to get anything on it.
3 minutes left, 3-0 Brann. We're seeing the supporters right now. I'm not sure where the ball is. There is a goal kick, in fact, as we see now. Dungalan with a long ball forward, which Suter attacks it. Bobbles up towards the halfway line where Gassama's onto it. Now it's with Raskan. Good side step away from his man. Right foot chip ball forward is headed clear. And these two matches can't end quickly enough for fans of Rangers and Aberdeen. And I think a 6th goal has gone in for AEK Athens. We'll get to Brian in a moment. In fact, we'll do it now because it's been given away by Gassama. Brian, my goodness me.
Yes, 6-0, Liam, and it's been scored. This one's been scored by number 7 substitute Derek Kutesa. Aberdeen defence, Liam, just so open. They've been playing at times this evening. Certainly, you'd have to say that the AEK Athens head coach has done his homework. He's looked at Aberdeen and he's seen exactly where they can be exploited, and it's time after time after time it's cleaned through. This time it was substitute Kutesa, too easily got away from the Aberdeen defender, through 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, slips it beyond him. It's 6-0, but Liam, Aberdeen have been let off light at 6. This could and probably should have been double figures tonight.
Horrific, absolutely horrific. Such a dreadful performance from Aberdeen. Yes, they've been completely outplayed by AEK. They had to be at their best and they just haven't been. Shades of the League Cup semi-final last season when they shipped 6 to Celtic. A huge league game against Hibs to come on Sunday. I did wonder if that game was coming at the wrong time for them tonight, given they've won their last 2 league games, because the 6-0 last season at Hampden was the start of the problems for Jimmy Tellin.
A massive step up in quality though they're playing against them. I know 6-0 is still an absolute doing, but in terms of what they're facing the domestic league.
Rangers 3-0 down, and we've played just about the full 90, but the game's just petering out.
Yeah,
it has been really since the second Brann goal.
As soon as the second goal went in, Rangers made the substitutions. Danny Rowe trying to be positive and try and get back into the game, but toothless all night. Rangers in attack really managed to create very, very little of note. And as I said, just to reiterate, gifting goals to the opposition.
4 minutes have been added on at the end in Norway. Barron wins it back in the midfield. It's behind Miovski. It's with Danilo. It's behind Miovski again, and it bounces away from him. It's now back with Pedersen, who steps away from Gassama and plays it in field, and shifted through here for Remin, the sub, or one of the subs. He managed to find another there in the shape of Mads Hansen, who switches it from right to left. And the Brann supporters enjoying their night, as you can hear in the background. They've packed the stadium tonight, and they've been rewarded with what's been an excellent performance on the home side, as poor as Rangers have been. As a strong challenge goes in from Cornelius, who won the ball. Fair flew into that, but he's come off the worst there. He's lying on the deck. He's managed to get himself back to his feet. As that's switched out to the right hand side for James Tavernier. In field to Barron. In comes the cross ball, and it's blocked, so a second chance. Tavernier back to Barron, and then Tavernier again. Plays it short to Raskan, and then shifts it to the left angle of the box as Rangers play it in along the 18-yard line, where it's cleared by Brann Bergen once again, and the home team get the free kick for a foul by Cornelius. Brann 3, Rangers 0. We've played almost 2 of the 4 minutes that were added on at the end.
Brann have managed the game well, haven't they? Since they've been 2 up, they've sat a wee bit deeper, just trying to keep possession of the ball. Rangers haven't managed to muster anything up that's going to cause them problems.
Rangers have it over on the right hand side, where it's played back into their own half for Suter. Side football forward for Moore, first time back for Brann, who finds Danilo, who'll turn it out first time to the right. Chasing it is Miovski. Comes back off the Brann defender down towards the corner flag. He's done well actually to whip it up the line, but Tavernier wins it back. Right foot cross, takes a touch and its way through. Dungaland tries to prevent the corner, which he hasn't been able to do. So 2.5 into the 4 minutes of stoppage time. Rangers have a corner, but they trail Brann 3-0. And a reminder that Aberdeen are on the receiving end of their record European defeat, 6-0 down in Greece against AEK. Their previous worst margin of defeat was 4, which had happened 3 times in the past. 6 tonight as the corner comes in. Dungaland beats it away with both fists. Back out to Tavernier. He finds Gassama. He's level with the penalty spot. He's going to win another corner, but it's all rather pointless at this stage.
Well, there's about a minute left of added on time. Anything now would just be a consolation for Rangers in what's been an incredibly disappointing evening for them and for the new manager.
Tavernier with the corner. The goalkeeper claws it away to the edge of the box, where Barron hits it, and he hits it over the bar from about 19 yards out. And it stays Brann Bergen 3, Rangers 0. About 40 seconds left of the torture for the Rangers supporters.
In fairness to Barney, catches it really, really well. He's given it the right to take that on the volley, edge of the box. Probably just a couple of feet over the bar, but into the last 20 seconds now. And
it's a new reality for Rangers, this,
well,
isn't it? Having done well on Thursday nights in Europe in the past, this is
against
it's
much
more like
bigger teams.
Oh yeah, I mean, you think of, they were taking absolute poundings in the Champions League under Van Bronckhorst, weren't they? But they're on the receiving end now, and Club Brugge are a good side.
Yeah,
they took 6 off them. They're losing 3-0 to Norwegian teams now.
I think it's just,
and this is not the best team in Norway.
It's illustrative of, there they go, illustrative of just where they are just now as a club.
Rangers well beaten in Norway, which makes it 3 defeats out of 3 at the start of their Europa League campaign. Shermiti had a header at 0-0, which was tame weakly into the ground, which the goalkeeper held on to comfortably after a wonderful Raskan cross. That's as good as it got for Rangers all night. Kornvig at the back post bundling home to give Brann the lead before a Sorensen header from a free kick made it 2-0. And then the third goal going in from from Noah Holm, who rifled it home. It really has been a dreadful night for Rangers. It's been a dreadful night for Scottish football, as Aberdeen also on the receiving end of a heavy defeat. Theirs is even worse in terms of scoreline. They are heading towards the very end of that match, losing by 6-0. As I mentioned earlier on, for Aberdeen, their previous heavy defeat was 5-1 against Bayern Munich and Sigma Olomouc, and 4-0 against Liverpool. They've managed to put that in the shade tonight in the Greek capital. So a lot of bones to be picked out of ahead of kick-off. Celtic taking on Sturm Graz. That's an 8 o'clock kick-off in the Europa League. But for Rangers and for Aberdeen and for Scottish football, it's being dragged through the mud in continental competition this season. It finished in Norway. Brann Bergen 3, Rangers 0.
Following Scotland's teams in Europe, live on Sports Sound.
On BBC Radio Scotland.